Hello and welcome to Matt's Rocks. Today I'm going to be cutting a few agates that I bought at the rock shop down in McCanda. I better get my flashlight out here. There's the first one. It's got a fracture across here, but I may be able to make cabs off of either side. I don't know. I'm going to take the first slab off and see what we got. And then I've got this one here. You can see the glow all from through it, but I'm not sure what it's going to look like on the inside. I know this spot here's got red in it, and it's not going to show through, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it this way, across this way, so I'm going to use my oil saw, so I'm going to have to clamp it in, which means I'm going to have to get creative on that. I may come back here on this end and clamp it here, and then make all my cuts this way on that one. And then I got this one here. You can't see anything from that side, but you can see it when I'm around on the sides. I'm not sure what this is going to look like, and it's got that vug there, so I don't want to cut it across this way. It'd be nice to cut it across that way. I'm not sure where the lines are at on the inside of it, but it kind of looks like they're going across and around this way, but I don't know that for a fact, and it's just going to be so hard to keep my saw on my vise. I'm going to try to, if I can't clamp it in this way, I'll figure out a different way to clamp it in. And then I got a piece of Copper Infused, I think it's Basalt. You can see the copper in it in there. Well, maybe too close. I'm not sure if it goes all through on these outside edges out here, and then this outside edge here. I'm not sure if it goes out there. I still see some in the center here. But I don't see much on this shelf here. So I may just try to cut it across like this and see what I can get out of the center section of it, depending on what it looks like. I don't know if I'll be able to clamp that in my clamp like that either. Not to get it set right. I may have to do this one on my 10-inch saw. Other 10-inch saw, my water saw. This is also, I got this at the same rock shop, and it's agatized petrified wood. The only bad thing about it, you can see how shiny it is. I thought that was just because of the agatization, but it's not. It's got some kind of varnish on it, but it's not a heavy varnish. It's not like a shellac or a polyurethane. I scraped it off with a pocket knife. That's how I knew it was some kind of varnish. That's no big deal. I'll just take some mineral spirits or no, I've got some other stuff to take off stuff like this and paint. I think it's got a fracture going across the center right through there. See, that's the part of it there, and it goes all the way across there, but then here on this side it comes down to here and goes across and then comes up and over. Well, over like that. So I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. It does come through here. It's hard to adjust on how to move my fingers when I've got them opposite the way I'm looking. But I think I'm just going to cut this one in half anyway and make samples out of it, because I don't know that any of that's going to look all that good. I'll find out once I cut this center part. Once I cut this across the middle here to try to get rid of that fracture. I'm going to have some chip off over here, but I think it's more red anyway, so I don't know that it's going to make that much of a difference. I don't know. I'll just have to wait and see. This may have been stabilized also. That may be what that is super glue of some kind. So it may have been stabilized. I just don't know what it is. He probably wouldn't have known either. So he was just a employee, but I mean, he knows a lot of stuff, but yeah, I don't think he's been in there as long as the store's been open. So and this was on the bottom of the back shelf behind the counter, so it may be something that he was really fairly unfamiliar with. He knew it was agatized, but probably because somebody had looked at it before, because that's why I asked him to look at it. But see, here's my clamp, and it's only that wide. Ouch. But it comes down from the top, and it doesn't have any wood on this side of it. And heck, I'm losing a whole quarter of an inch there on height. So, but it's no big deal. I can fix that. I don't think well, not on this, not really. But I can fix it with a bigger saw. That's what I'm wanting to get anyway. There's a bigger saw. Oh good, that does go further than 2. Goes to 4. Sorry. I hadn't tried zooming this in very far yet. I thought it only went to 2 power, but it went to 4 power, so. Okay, let's try to figure out how we're going to do this one. Trying to keep it straight. I got a feeling it's going to be mostly clear on the inside once I get past this first layer. And I'm not sure what's going to be on the inside of those two at all. Nothing even close, remote to figure out on that. Okay, that didn't work out as good as I thought it would either. That's got my face coming over at the top too far. Okay, let's put it in this way. Oh, stop falling off it. I probably won't put all this in there. I'll show you what it looks like before I start the saw. So I'm going to have to shut this off anyway, or shut the camera off anyway in between slices, or even I may even just wait till I've finished cutting the whole thing and then show you all the slices at one time off of each rock and go from there. I think it'll be quicker and easier that way, because there's no way you're going to be able to hear anything I'm saying when it's on, when the saw is on, and it takes 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes per cut probably on this. It's pretty hard. Get off there. Okay, there it is. I almost forgot to talk to the camera. That's what it's going to look like. Oh, that's the way I've got it rigged up for the first one. And we'll go ahead. Oh, I guess I better put my guard back down over here. Good. It's nothing rough on that edge either. Sometimes I have to put, that's what those sticks were for. I have to put something up underneath here sometimes to keep it from catching on ledges in the rock that I'm cutting, because it keeps it, stops the screw from being able to bring it forward or back to where it was, or feeding it through the saw. Okay, I don't think I need this anymore right now, but I'm gonna leave it close. Alrighty, here we go. Yeah, wait, let it shut off on its own. Put my special protection on it here so that it don't splatter all over the place. Okay, today I'm going to cut this agate. I guess I ought to have my flashlight out so you can see that it's definitely letting light through almost everywhere. No idea what it looks like in the middle, but I couldn't cut it on my oil saw at the vise because it just, I need to cut it this way because this is the, looks like this is where the lines are going to be. I think, I don't know. I'm just going to shave enough off of this to tell, because I do have that vug in there. I'm going to cut it a little bit deeper just to try to get to the bottom of that vug, and then I think I'm going to slab it on across this way. I'm not sure yet. Once I get this off, I'll see which way the lines are going. I may have to switch it sideways and run it like this, I don't know. And then I've got this, it's kind of harder to see now that it's been sitting over on my table with my oil saw, but this orange in here is actually copper, as you can see it on this side that didn't get soaked. Let me turn. There we go. Now my camera is actually straight with the camera body, so I can figure out where I need to move this to. I'm just going to finish this cut that somebody started coming up through this way, going over in through this way, and take this top section off. This seems about thick enough. I've got a feeling it seems like most of the copper's in this section right here. There's a little bit out in here, but I don't know how far it goes towards the top on this side. And I don't know how much of it is in through here. There's not much on the lower side of this, because that, I'll run the, my finger up the same way the back side goes. It's about, it comes over about that far all the way across up through there. So I'm just going to cut this off and then go from there. I will do this one first because it's going to be the quickest. Ah, it broke up on me. But look at that. The copper in that side. And that's where the fracture was at. Shut that off before I get soaked. I don't know if that's copper or not. It's just lighter colored. And that's the side that already had the cut on it. That's part of the new cut. I'm going to go ahead and cut this little top off of it because I may be able to use this. We'll find out. Yeah, I might be able to make something out of that part too. And that one. It's a little thin on this tip, but I think I'll go ahead and cut this down this way. It's a little thick, but it'll make a nice semi-round cab. I think that's basalt that it's in, but I can't really be sure, so. Ooh, that piece is nice. This one didn't come out too bad either. That's got copper all through it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half. It doesn't look like this backside has much, but I'll cut into it and find out later. Or grind into it and find out. Okay, that's got all those cut. I'm going to toss that piece in the tumbler. Let me get me a towel here. I forgot it. Get the grit off my fingers before I start on this other one. I'm going to put my rip fence on here. Although it's not tall enough to be actually considered as a rip fence, I think it's actually taller than any place that I'm going to be able to set this. I'm going to put my rip fence on here. Although it's not tall enough to be actually considered as a rip fence, I think it's actually taller than any place that I'm going to be able to set this. Set it out far and go from there. Once I get it set down in there. Okay, it's gonna work. Should be taller, but well, I saw a saw made in Poland on a video yesterday from currently rock hounding that he saw in Tucson, I think it was, And it was a nice looking saw. And the rip fence on it, well, I'll use the other camera. The rip fence on it comes up higher here, and it's mounted over here with 2 rods for changing the depth, and it sits over the table, and it's about that tall, so it'll actually work as a rip fence. This one's too short. You can't make sure it's straight up and down this way, because sometimes you end up this way or this way depending on how the bottom of your rock's shaped, because as you can see, I've got more sticking down below here, which is the flat spot I'm trying to cut off. So it's kind of a pain to try to get that to work correctly. I have to set this on that corner, well, basically on this side, so that I can get this corner up against the rip fence to try to make it as level of a cut as I can get, and it's way too deep. I can see that right now. My Let's go ahead and get this thing figured out. Oh, wow. It's got some more of a pocket, but I think I picked the right one and the right way to cut it. I got a feeling it's going to get better the deeper I go, because this is going to disappear. More than likely. This doesn't go all the way through, but it's sandy. I could feel it breaking out. That's calcite, I think. Or just sand inside quartz. Yeah. I'm gonna quick spritz. Can't really tell. I like that side. Still got some of that yellow crap in there, but it's got more pattern to it, a little bit more pattern to it. Still got yellow on the other side too. One more cut. This one's going to be hard to do, but only because I don't like it. And actually, yeah, that turned out, I had it a little crooked. It's a little wider up here than it is down here. So it spreads out at the top like that a little bit. It's hard to get this one straight. That's why I don't like it. It goes way back in the blade, mounts down to the table, back in the back between the blade and the motor. You got no room to put a short, unless you've got a 6-inch ruler. Yep, 6-inch ruler, which I can get. I just want a metal one rather than paper or plastic, or paper or wood. This thing is hard. It's solid as a rock, and it's hard as a rock. It's hard. Oh yeah. I like this one. Let me go ahead and get out my flashlight and we'll show you what it looks like with light coming through it. I'll show them to you again. I've got all the other ones I cut set up here for this cutting video all over there. And I've cut a few extras, I cut a extra. Well, I told you about it on the first one. That's what's left over. I like this blade. It doesn't leave as big a kerf marks, but that's a real hard agate too. Oh, this is fracture, going to break off. I knew that was going to happen once I seen it, but I figured I'd break it off now while you was watching. And here's the last piece. Again, you can see it's got a little bit of shine to it already. That's dried off. Well, now I know it ain't got any fractures in it. At least none that I could tell. Oh yeah, it does. It's a continuation of that one. But it's only on the back side. I think well, it's only on what I would call the front side, but I got a feeling that little bit of yellow is going to come out of there when I grind this. I'm going to grind it off on both sides, and it's also thicker on one end than the other. You got no way to keep your top up against the fence because there's no fence. It only sticks up a 1/4 of an inch. And when it gets down this small, this is the last piece, minus what fractured off. That's what I had to hold on to while I'm trying to run it through the blade, and I'm fighting holding on to it because it's so skinny, and I got it up against the rip fence. And then all those slots on the table, they keep catching it too, so I'm fighting that also. So if you're listening, High Tech Diamond, please put smooth tables on your 10-inch slab saws and make a better rip fence. It can mount to the left side or right side, either side, and come in from the sides and be a L shape so that it stays straight up and down. Just a hint. It's not your fault, and I'm not mad about it. I'm just trying to help you improve your product. I like it still. I don't care for the thinness of this blade on bigger agates like this, but that's also the back side of that first piece I took off. And I think I'll just put it in a tumbler also. There's not a lot I'm going to be able to do with that. It's got too deep of pits. And then here's the first slab I took off after that with the yellow on both sides. Okay, this is my second time filming trying to show off these rocks. I just finished the last bit of the cutting on the agates that I was doing on the cutting video that I'm getting ready to put up. I was doing the last bit of editing on it, and when I got to the part where I showed off the rocks, I had a light over here on this side so that it would, and I had it trying to kind of coming across in front of where I was going to be holding the rocks, and it just threw cloud. It just made it look like a big cloud in here because it was washing out the camera. So I had to redo it. So that's what I'm doing now. I swapped cameras. I was using my Pocket 3 for the close-ups because it was a better It's a better camera for that, but it wasn't working. It was working for the close-ups, but the little DJI Pocket 2 wasn't working good for the extra light washing it out. It might be the setting. I never did. I don't think I ever did clearly get the setting all straightened out the way it's supposed to be. But anyway, here we go. I'm just going to start same place I started last time, just for the heck of it. This is the first rock. It already had a slab off of it. And I think, yeah, it went this way. And it was hard to clamp in the saw because this side was so tiny. But I knew I couldn't clamp it this way and get it. It was hanging down too far below. The way it was curved at the bottom here, it was hanging too far down below my vise of my oil saw to be able to clamp it in without it being at an angle like this, which I ended up with anyway, just because I couldn't, my old eyes didn't adjust right on the, I thought I had it at an angle, at a straight angle on the outside edge where the first cut had been taken off. And you can tell which one was the first one because it's got kerf marks where mine don't. Mine didn't leave any kerf marks except for where I started it here. Just, this was the last piece taken off, these two. And what I did was, after I got these first two off, okay, that's all of these. I could have swore I got one more, but maybe not. But anyway, after I got these first two off, I flipped the end around this way because I was able to clamp it better like this, and I got this part off when I clamped this part back in. This part was still straight across on the first slab that I got off of there. And this piece here, I'll just make a big old, the end piece, I'll just make a big old ball cab type thing out of it. There's what they look like. Now that I think, can't really see them very good from my point of view, but it's showing better from behind the rock now. Let me wet these down. I don't know if it's going to help on the no, oh, I was going behind it, wasn't I? Yeah, it did help a little on the, I've got a cross line going straight up and down right in past that dark spot right here in the middle. These are, I've got a feeling on those are fortification lines in there, and I've got a feeling that if I was to slice this thinner, I would get, oh darn it, Theo Kellison, come to my rescue. Rainbow colors on the edges of the lines, because the lines are so long. I don't know exactly what causes it, but it gosh darn it, I can't think of the name of it right now. And you know what? I put it on the first video. No, I didn't either. I thought I was trying to think of what it was, but I never did put it on there. But see, it's like a turtleback on the bottom edge of these. And everywhere that color's at is fractured, most of it. This edge here, where it's smooth, come down from here, wherever it comes down from this, it's because of a fracture. And then what it is, the fracture comes down across like this, and that's allowed the inclusion, the chemicals or the minerals from the inclusion that change the colors to get down in there and change the colors on it. But I bet if I made smaller cabs, like just busted that off, although I'm going to lose a lot of this, I might get some of the rainbow effect out of those bands. But it's going to be hard to clamp a 1/4 inch of that down and stay on the that's only 3/8 of an inch, and in order to cut it in half, well, I don't know, I'm not sure how thin it has to be, but it might need to be 2 slices taken off that to get it thin enough. Here's the next one. These are the last 2 anyway. Let's put it that way. And it comes up here and goes across and then back down. So here it's got even more chances of having that, except for right here on this edge where it's got all that color behind it because of this fracture coming down. And then it splits off, comes down through here too. And I think these may have been fractures. Yeah, they were fractures at one time. Well, maybe not. Hard to tell with all the kerf marks there. I can't tell. When I first turned it over, it looked like it almost might have. And here's the third one. I'm trying to make this a little shorter than the last one too, because I've already got 30-40 minutes, I think. There's the last one, the last smaller one. And then the big one you've already seen. So let me go to the next one. I like this one a lot. This is the one I cut. I cut this one on the welder saw. Let me just set all the pieces up there. And you can see the lines from my kerf marks, but you can also see how shiny that is. And that's just from cutting it. Now the kerf marks aren't deep at all. And it's got some depth. It's fairly clear agate with cloudy fortifications in it. This fracture will come off more than likely. Let me wet that down also. Again, actually I don't think I did the first time. But when I cut it open, this was the last piece, and I finally got rid of the vug. This is the one that I started on this side because of this vug. And this is where I thought the fortification lines were at. And so that's why I cut it this way. And I was correct, but when I cut it open, I didn't get to the end of that vug. I thought I was going to get to the end of that vug fairly quick, but look at the lines in there. I'm going to just take it and cut all of that completely across here and just make a cab out of this. Even though this is the end, I'm not going to be able to get, I may be able to get enough of that off of there, enough of those vugs off of there to get that straightened out once I get this vug out of there, because it goes through all of them except the last one. And this was the last one that I just set down there. And you can see that's where it ended. And it's even more spectacular on the lines, on the fortification lines on it. And then we've got this one here, which is the next to the last one, and it's the right size. I got lucky there getting them all the same width all the way across, but I'll have to do the same with this one. Now I may go ahead and cut this off and make earrings out of the 2 ends that I end up losing. Well, maybe not. Maybe. Nope. Guess not, because I think I already had one piece break off on there. No, it had already been broke off. Oh, this is going to break off. I may be able to get a piece out of that to add to this piece or this piece here. One of these. Let me wet that down again. That might not have as many swirls in it as I'd like. This looks a little better. Yeah, this piece has got the fracture, so does this one. Remember, maybe not. Yeah, that's right. This fracture doesn't go all the way through, but you can see that it goes up to here. This may be healed, but I don't see any cut mark in there, or I don't see a split in there, so it's not a fracture, or it doesn't go all the way through in that white stuff, or it's healed, one of the two. Then there was also this piece of agatized petrified wood that I bought in Macanda. It's not showing up all that well with the camera, even in my light. You can see it glowing around it's just not coming through the varnish that they put on it. I don't know who put it on there. If whether it was probably like that when they got it at the rock shop, but that's got some kind of a varnish on there, and I think it might even be. Yeah, I can scrape it off with my fingernail. That's how thin it is. I was using my pocket knife. I got. Oh, that was close. There we go. Uh, I just went on ahead and cut it in half. It had a fracture in it. This is where the fracture ended on this side. And it started right there where I'm cutting, or where I cut. That's why I lost this little chunk right in here, because that's where the fracture started. And I didn't think it went all the way through flat. I knew it didn't go through flat because I knew it came down this way. But I figured this piece here, I'm going to make a sample out of. This piece here, it's got another fracture coming up through here and across to here. Now I'm not sure. I haven't been able to break it there yet, and I don't see any indentations in it. But that red color looks a lot like rust, and if it's rust and that white is on this end of it, if that white on this end of it is powder, it's gonna break there. But I'm gonna go ahead and make maybe 2 or 3 slabs out of this, and then do 3 cabs out of this, 3 cabs out of this, and then 3 cabs out of this, and we'll go that way. And then this one here, I'll just polish this side for a sample. I also cut that piece of Copper Infused Basalt. I'm not going to put it back together because I cut it all to pieces, just to make small enough sizes. You can see all the copper in there shining off of it. And it ran all down through the middle. Some of this doesn't have as much showing, like that one there, but this may be oxidized completely away, because those are just probably little thin flakes, judging from the looks of this one on the side. That I think I did pick up one that flaked off. Yeah, there's a little piece of that one flaked off. No, it didn't. That's in the corner here. But I did have a little flake chunk off, and I think that may have been something I cut too, but you can see some of them aren't very thick, like that little one there. But I got 5 pieces out of it. The ones that I cut this one in half, and it's got that fracture there. I'm not sure what I'm going to get out of it. It does have copper all the way through, all the way around, but I've got a feeling that fracture there is going to come off, and it may take, this one here with it, but that'd be just the right thickness for a cab. Well, if there's anything in that part of it. There is here. Maybe it'll do. I got 5 pieces. This is the last piece. I was just pointing that dang thing at the camera. All that orange there, I think that's probably just orange like that because it was sitting on my, or it was getting eroded like this piece here. Now I'm going to have to, now I got to worry about whether you could see any of that stuff. I was holding it too far back and it wasn't getting any light. Okay, we'll go with this next agate that I got in Macanda. There's the 2 end pieces. This piece here I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot with. It only shows through on that one side. This is the one that had the red jasper. That may even be red agate with jasper in it, jasper inclusions. This piece I could make a nice little cab out of. I'll just lose a lot of this end, but I'll make a nice little round triangular cab out of that piece. This piece here I don't know that I'm going to do a whole lot with, except maybe throw it in a tumbler. And then we've got all the slices, and some of these don't have a whole lot of pattern in them, and it's got quite a few fractures, as you can see that one there coming down across this corner. Comes down through here, and I think it goes down into here a little bit, and then here on this side it comes back up and then back around this way. So that reminds me a lot of this one. But this is also one of the end pieces. It's got more pits in it. This is the end piece, right underneath one of the heels, and it's got way too many end pieces, and I'm not going to be able to do anything with that. And I think basically on these, I'm just going to come off and get as much of this to look good as I can, and just make them free-form cabs. I think they'll look better. I haven't wet any of them down yet. Let me do that. Wet this one down real quick. They've got some nice patterns coming through that, but the agate does have good patterns in it, and this one's not quite as pitted on the outside, on this side. You can see there where it split or busted off. I had to grind that off. I didn't get it all ground off. Another one of the end pieces on that one. That'll make a nice freeform cab. Probably lose quite a bit of this section, as I think this is a fracture here. Probably comes around through here. Well, no, it goes down this way. This may be a chip that goes off before it gets to the end, and here's the last piece of it. And it's thicker because I had to do it the same way I did the other one. Turn it around so I could cut the end of it. No, I did this one on the wet saw. That's what it was. I cut this one thicker on purpose. What did I shut that off for? Just because it looked less pitty. I may just lose this part of it, but there's a good little floater agate right there. Another partial floater there, but it's got pits in it. No, the pits, that's just kerf marks. I did have kerf marks on this from this saw. There's another one of those where it split on me, or busted before it got to the end of the saw cut. So then I had to kind of cut it off myself and grind it down. Okay, that's that one. I also cut up the rest of that piece. I did this piece. I just polished the ends. I had it out of the camera, and I finished the last section of it. It was probably that long. I went on ahead. This is one of the first ones that I got off of there. I took this one the same time I cut that end off. This was the first slab I took off of it, and it's got way too many pits around this quartz. I don't think it's going to stand up too much. I am going to polish it, but it's not going to be worth much. But the rest of them come out pretty solid, and they got better colors in the actual rocks themselves. Let me move that back a little. There we go. Give you a little idea on the colors, and you should be able to see some of the pits there too. And it's not a bad looking rock. I got 4 slabs out of that, what was left of it. One of them's pretty good. Oh, my arms are sore. I'm sitting too far back because I got this little camera in front of me, but you can see all those crystals are pretty small in through there, and I'm not sure how that's going to hold up. So these are all going to be getting just face polished. There's the next one. Guess I could wet them down too. That'll make the color pop a little better. But I cut these on my oil saw, and I got a feeling, well, that may be what some of that dark color is on there. Some of the darker stuff, the black, darker stuff. That may be stuff coming in there from my saw. You can see the, ooh, I'll hold it up there, but you can't see up there yet. Let me, But that black may come off. Here's the last one. Oh no, I think I showed you this one. Maybe not. But there's 4 of these. Yeah, this one's still got quite a bit of pits in it too. And you can see this fracture coming through that crystal all the way through clear to this side. So that's why they're only getting face polished. And then this is the heel. I like the color. It had more red in it than the other ones, or than the other piece that I polished on the 2 faces that I made the first piece that I did on the flat lap here. Man, my arm's sore. It's a lot of work. And then I cut, this is one of the extra ones. I cut that piece of petrified wood that's been sitting over there that I was going to cut a while back. And this is stuff I got in New Mexico. And it was just this. Oh no, that's goes there. It's something like this. This is all the bigger it was anyway. Right there. That's what it looked like before I cut it. Of course, you've seen it on the first part of the video. Well, no, I don't think I showed it. I thought I had, but I think I lost the footage or something because I was doing this one with the Pocket 3. But this is all. This is also agatized, this petrified wood that I got. Of course, a lot of that other had stuff that was showing through also, but not a lot. It's mostly the lighter colored yellow. This one shows through quite a bit. You can see it in the red. You can see it in the red, but it just doesn't let that much light through unless it's thinner. These should allow more light through once they're finished. I'm just going to make these all freeform cabs, and this I'll make something out of. I don't know. I may take a few more slabs off of it and make some earrings to go with those other slabs or other cabs. Then we did, that was all of them. Oh yeah, I forgot. I did do this one on the last video where I did this one at. I found I had kept the piece that I took off of here when I first cut it. That's all I cut off of it, was that much. But this, where this crinoid fossil was at, I think there's still some of it in the opposite side. So I'm going to send it with whoever gets this stone so that they've got that. It may be also something like this, which is part of the, if this is what I think it is, I think it's a baculite or a stromatolite. I think it's a stromatolite because of the fossils in it. This is a sea fossil. So is this here, or a horsetail fern, or a horsetail grass, whatever. So American horsetail grass, something like that. I'll have to look at my Wild Kyle video. They found some that were like this big around of the same stuff. It's a of the what's made these fossils anyway, or what I was thinking these fossils are from, because most of your crinoid fossils only have the segments. So you only got horizontal lines, but this one's got horizontal segments and vertical lines going all the way around every millimeter. Seems like almost every other millimeter. But anyway, so that's the video. I haven't looked at this camera in a while. I'm sorry. Not like it matters. You're not going to see me not looking at this camera, because it's going to be, you'll be watching this camera, so it's not going to make any difference. All that talking I've been doing, I could have been doing, and I think I've been talking and not really showing you this on this camera, but you can see some of it. Especially the places where I've held it up too high for this camera. I noticed I did a lot of that. But anyway, thanks for watching. That's the video. Sorry it was so hectic and helter-skelter. But this is my second cutting video. The first one didn't go well at all, and I think it was all on just this one, my water saw, my wet saw, rather than my oil saw, and it didn't go any better. and I can't really put anything on regular speed when I'm cutting because it's too loud for you to take anyway, especially if you've got it loud enough to hear me talking over it. And I've done that too many times. I always leave most of them out. Now I've tried to get the machine noise out, but without several mics and different tracks, it's not going to work. So, and I don't have the money for that kind of technology. I've already got three sets of mics. I got two of these DJIs, two that I bought for the for the Pocket 3, and one that I bought with the Pocket 2. But the first two that I bought for the Pocket 3 didn't work out too good. They had such a squeak to them, and I couldn't get they had a noise reduction on them, and I think that's what was making it squeaky, and I never could get them to work right, so I didn't use them. But anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification button. Find out when the next one's coming on. And this is Super Bowl Sunday. I did mention that on the last one. I'm throwing away all that footage. I still got it, but I'm throwing it away because you couldn't see anything because I had a light on the other side of me. So thanks for watching and have a good day. And I hope your team wins. I don't know who's playing, but hope your team wins. Bye.